Good evening, everyone, and I hope you guys are doing pretty good. So, in today's class, we will be covering a very interesting interview question. This particular question was given to me by Harshil. Harshil has like around 9 years of experience in automation testing, and she recently appeared for this interview for SDET in TCS. And over there, this particular question was asked. Now, this question is interesting is because it has nothing to do with automation testing. It has nothing to do with your testing fundamentals. It's completely a coding question. Now, the question over here is we have been given a JSON object and we are supposed to manipulate that JSON object. So, we have been given this huge JSON object, guys. And over here, if you notice, there is this huge JSON object which consists of nesting of JSONs, and there is a JSON array. Now, how do I know that this is a JSON array, guys? Take a moment, think about it. It's pretty simple, right? You see these square brackets? These square brackets basically means that this is a JSON array. Now, just like your normal array, which is going to store similar kind of values, JSON array basically stores similar kind of JSON objects. Now, what do you mean by similar kind of JSON objects? You will notice product IDs over here, product IDs here, product name is there, product name is there, quantity is there, quantity is there, price is there, price is there. So the keys are common in both the JSON objects inside this JSON array. What is the key for this JSON array? Items. Okay, it is items. Now, what the interviewer has asked na, ki Baba, there is this product name which is having the value laptop. You are supposed to change the value from laptop to desktop. That's all you want to do. Okay. Again, this has nothing to do with your Selenium, your rest assured and all. But this is pure a fundamental question. Okay. And the interesting part is the interviewer wants us to write a snippet for this particular code. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. We have this huge JSON object. Now, what we will be doing now, we will be first identifying the path to reach items. So, if you notice, let's close this chat. If you notice, right now, inside this JSON object, you are having items as one of the keys. So there is no nesting. You see order ID, order date, customer. Inside customer, there is another JSON object. Then we have customer is having another nesting over here, which is of contact, and contact is having email and phone. But when you're talking about items, item is directly inside the JSON object. Okay? Item is directly inside this particular JSON object. Are you getting the point? So accessing items is going to be very straightforward. But what we need to do is we need to first parse this particular JSON object in Java. In order to do parsing, you can use various libraries. You can use Jackson, you can use JSON, you can use JSON library. Now, what I will be doing is I will be using a very simple library because I want the code over here to be very simple. That's the reason I'll be using JSON in Java. This is the library which I'll be using. So you can go to the mavenrepository.com and technically you just need to search for this library called JSON. Okay, or you're going to find something called JSON in Java. This is the one, and you can just scroll down to the Maven tab, copy this particular dependency, go back to your project wherever you're practicing it off. For me, I have created this 90 days SDET interview preparation, and I'm going to go to the pom.xml file and I will add this particular dependency. I have already added and kept over here. Is this part making sense to everyone? Now, we will be using this particular library. Here's the most important thing, guys. Whenever you want to manipulate a JSON, you technically need a third-party library. We have Jackson, we have JSON, and we have JSON also. So I'll be using JSON over here. Now, what we will be doing first is we will be creating a variable. Let's call this as string JSON payload. Okay. And over here, the most interesting thing is we have a pretty huge JSON. No? We have a pretty huge JSON. So what sometimes people do is they're going to use double quote and they're going to paste it like this. Now this thing looks very ugly. Okay. The readability over here is very bad because we have this /r// and then again / popping up. So whenever you're going to have a multi-line statements popping up, which you want to store it in your string, always use these triple quotes. This is important. Okay. So if you're going to use double quote, what is going to happen? You will end up having these /r, /n and all those things and plus sign and all those things popping up. We don't want that. What we want is the readability should be better. That's the reason you're going to use these multi-line quotes. This is these 3 quotes you're going to put over here, 3 over here, 3 over here, and in between you paste it off. All right. Then I'm going to put my semicolon at the end. So let me just zoom out. This is the entire JSON object. Okay. Let's minimize this chap also. I'm going to do a Control-Shift-F to fix the formatting. Now the readability gets a little bit better. Yes or no? Now, what we want to do is we want to parse this particular JSON. Okay. We're going to parse this particular JSON. And for that, we will be using your JSON library. So this whole thing here, you see, this is the end of the JSON object. This is the start of the JSON object, and I'm using the word, this is a JSON object. Inside JSON object, there's another JSON object. Then there is a JSON array, so on and so forth. The terms are important. So the JSON library that we have added now, it technically gives me a class, which is called as JSON object class. So we will be using this JSON object class, and I'm going to create a reference of this particular class JSON object equal to new JSON object. Now, a lot of time in your interview, they ask you where you have done constructor overloading. Arey Baba, look carefully. JSON object, you have JSON object, JSON token. You can use JSON object and you can pass a string over here. So it's not necessary that you are doing the constructor overloading. 99% you will be having your own classes where you will be doing constructor overloading for sure. I have done it in browser utility. I have done it in REST assured and all those things. But you should also remember the different classes in which constructor overloading has happened. Okay. So when I'm looking at JSON object class also, I know that there is your constructor overloading happening. Okay. And we will be using this JSON object and we will be giving the source in string format. Now over here guys, automatically JSON payload is getting selected is because we only have one variable which is your string JSON payload, right? So it has automatically filled this thing for us. Now, as we want to manipulate this JSON object, we have created this JSON object reference now. Are you getting the point? Now, look carefully. So over here guys, what we want to do is we want to print this JSON object on my console. So how can I do that? Simply, I can say system.out.println JSON object dot toString. Okay, toString. Let's click on the play button and let's bring this chap over here. And you will notice that it is printing the entire JSON payload over here for us. Okay, this is the JSON object. You'll be like, Arey Jatin, why you had to do this thing? You could have simply printed the JSON payload. You are converting it into string and then printing it off. What extra advantage you're getting over here? Let me show you. If you notice, the main problem over here is that the entire JSON object that is getting printed over here is in one line. Readability is bad, yes or no? What we want over here is we want to have proper indentation. So you can give the indentation over here. You just put 2. You just put over here 2. Save it. Right click. Run as Java application. Let's bring this guy up. What do you notice? Proper indentation is there. 2 white spaces. All right. I hope this part makes sense. Now, what we want is inside this JSON object, we have this items array, right? This items is a JSON array. And I want to access this items. So how can I do that? So over here, what we will be doing, let's hit enter. I'm going to use this JSON object dot, let's say, get a JSON array. This is the method which I have, JSON array. And JSON array requires the key. Now tell me, what is the name of the key of this JSON array? Because this is the one we want to manipulate. The interviewer is telling ki, Baba, the product name over here is laptop. You change the laptop to desktop. Okay, this is what we want. The product name which is over here as laptop, you are going to change it to desktop. So for that, I'm going to take this items and I'm going to put it off over here. You're going to give the key. Okay. What does get JSON array returns me? It returns me JSON array. Okay. So over here, I'm going to say JSON array and this is going to be items array. Do a control shift O. Okay. I think there is some mistake. Yeah. JSON should be capital. Now, this item array is technically storing your entire items array. So these two JSON objects are inside the JSON array, the item array that we have just created now. And we can access them. How? Let me show you. Let's hit enter. And I can simply say system.out.println items array dot get me the item which is going to be there on the 0th index. And be careful over here. See, if you're going to use a get method, it is going to return me object. I don't need object. I need it in the string format. Okay, so I have this get string. Okay. If you don't want it in the string format also, you can get it in the JSON object format. And this becomes a little bit better because then I can beautify and all those things. So get JSON object is what you're going to use. And I'm going to give the 0th index because this item is on which index? 0th index. Yes or no? So over here, I'm going to give the 0th index and then I'm going to say dot to string and you're going to give the value for the indentation. I'm going to give 2. Now, for the simplicity, let's comment the old one. Perfect. Let's bring this chap up. Okay, right click, run as Java application. And voila, you will notice that we got this chap. One step close. So what do we want over here? We want product name should be changed from laptop to desktop. This is what we want. Product name should be changed to desktop. So how to do that? Over here, whenever you are performing any updation in your REST APIs, what is the HTTP verb that you use? Put. Put is the one you use, na? So observe what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this chap. I'm going to say items array dot get JSON object on the 0th index dot put. And you give the key. The key over here is product name. Okay. Let's bring this chap up. This is product name. And over here, what should be the value? The value should be desktop. I'm going to copy the same line and I'm going to print it over here for you guys. Click on the play and you will notice the difference. Over here, the old value of product name was laptop. Now it is desktop. Your update has happened. Is this part making sense to everyone? Okay. So quickly practice this particular code at your end. We are not done yet. Okay. This is the code. This entire JSON payload, I have put it in the comment section. You guys can take it from there. Okay. And now I want you guys to quickly write this particular code at your end. I hope you guys have written this particular code. Now, if you write till here now, will the interviewer accept this particular solution? The answer is no. The thing is, what if the interviewer wants us ki baba, wherever laptop is there, you need to change it to desktop. Okay? So we have to iterate over the array. This is something that I have purposely shown you so that you understand how these methods work. But in reality, never hardcode these things. What we will be doing is we will be iterating over the array. And iterating is pretty simple, like how you do it in your normal array. The same concept comes over here. I'm going to have for int index equal to 0, because obviously the array index starts from 0. And I'm going to say index is going to be less than item array dot length, right? And I'm going to say index plus plus. Now, what did I do? Once I got the item array, inside the item array, I'm going to use this index to get the JSON object. So I'm going to say JSON object, okay, and I'm going to say item equal to item array dot get the JSON object at whatever the index it is. Then this is the most important thing. We are going to do something tricky. I'm going to say if item dot get me the string value for product name. Okay. Now the reason I'm using the get the string value, because it's going to give me the string value, and probably it's a string. Laptop and desktop probably would be in string, right? I can just say dot equals ignore case to laptop. Then what? We will update it of item dot put product name with N capital as desktop. Okay, done. This is the whole code. Outside the for loop, I can just use this same stuff. This was a sysout line, right? I can just take this one. I can put it off over here, save it. Let's zoom out a little bit over here, because what is going to get printed is going to be pretty big. Let's click on the play button. And you will notice that this whole thing, okay, this whole thing over here, this is product name, okay? Product name is desktop. Is this part clear to everyone? Okay. So over here, guys, you can expect such questions over here. Okay, it's a very interesting one. And generally what happens now, guys, wherever such questions are asked, that you have been given a JSON array and you want to manipulate it off and all those things, the first solution that, usually comes in anyone's mind is, I will make a put request. But the interviewer did not even say ki baba, this is a REST API. It is just a payload. Okay. You want to update this particular field. This product name field needs to just get updated. So this is a pure Java program. You just need to be aware of the library. Can I do it with Jackson or JSON? Of course, I would have been able to do that. But the problem with those libraries in today's class would be that you would have to understand what is this object mapper and all those things. If you're already familiar with the concept of, or the terminologies like JSON object or your JSON array, okay, and understanding what exactly put means. Put is technically means updation here, okay, it becomes easy to learn. That's the reason I choose to use your JSON library, okay, the JSON library over here. So that's it, guys. This was the whole program. Please make sure you practice it off pretty well, and just be aware of this particular library. Now I'm going to see you guys in the next one, and don't forget to mark your attendance, okay? And thank you so much for showing a lot of love for this entire series. And now I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.